Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw here in Las Vegas at the Signature Conference, and we do this every year, and almost every year we talk with this lady right next to me, Corinne Christopher, who is the Executive Vice President, Marketing and Preferred Partnerships for Signature. And we're going to talk to her about what's going on with the marketing at Signature and also preferred partners. She has a lot in her plate, so we're going to talk to her about that and more and what's changing at Signature, and you'll find that out on Insider Travel Report. Now, Corinne, first of all, great to see you. As always fun to see you. Thank you for inviting me, and I always enjoy coming here. And this one I think is one of your biggest ever, your conference.
It is absolutely the biggest ever. The most number of member and advisor attendees, as well as the most number of partner attendees.
No, and that's fantastic, and they're all here. We're really back from the days of COVID and all that.
Absolutely, bigger than from before the days of COVID, which is exciting.
You're absolutely right. Now let's talk. You gave a little address to some of the preferred suppliers about what you're doing in marketing, and you started off talking about your B2C marketing, and specifically you have some great publications. Tell us what you have now and what you're planning.
So we are continuing to do the travel magazine, Ultimate Experiences. We have our hotel and resort magazine, and we just introduced a Travel Elevates magazine. So we have 4 different publications that are coming out 8 times a year, and that is really still the cornerstone of our overall marketing program. Many companies pulled back on direct mail during the pandemic, and many have reduced their overall reach with their publications, but we know how important that is for our members to have that tool to connect with their customers year-round. And so in addition to the publications, we continue to do a lot of direct mail. I suspected after the pandemic, or while we were in the middle of the pandemic, that we would not bring back our direct mail program to the strength that it was before the pandemic.
But you were wrong, right?
I was wrong. Just because we shifted so much to digital, obviously, during the pandemic, but now we have both that increased presence digitally as well as bringing back the direct mail, and we're seeing the returns. We always do matchbacks for all of our direct campaigns with our partners, and they continue to tell us that our response and the ROI on our pieces that we're creating are even better than what they're creating. So we're going to probably be doing even more.
It is amazing how things you think it wouldn't return, and you think direct mail people are tired of it, but and they also weren't in a position to do it, and yet you're finding great results from it.
Absolutely, and I think it goes back to the fact that all of Signature's marketing, it's a direct link back to either the agency or specifically the advisor. And we know the travelers are craving that personal connection with their trusted advisor. So I think that's what's driving the great return on the print side as well as the digital side.
No, that's great news. Now, you also talked about your B2C marketing, and you just introduced, I think, called Signature Circles.
Yes.
Tell us, what is that, and how is that going to help advisors and your preferred suppliers?
And really the backbone of the circles are what we call travel styles. And so whether it's exploration travel, culinary travel, wellness travel. We also are focusing on positive impact travel.
Yeah, that was an interesting category, positive impact. What is that?
It's really ways that travelers, when they are in destination, that they can give back to the communities that they are visiting. Our nonprofit organization is called Travel Elevates, and so our focus is on education and economic empowerment in those communities. But for some people, their passion point is sustainability, or their passion point is animal welfare. So whatever is important to them, we want to make sure that we're providing the advisors the communication tools and the marketing tools to connect with them in that way that's of interest to them. But just importantly, on the B2B side, is making sure that our partners know who those advisors are, and that we have the tools and resources for the advisors to be able to actually complete the sale and to create those really unique experiences, always taking it back to our preferred partners. So the circles is the extension of travel styles, and then creating communities of advisors who are interested in growing that segment of their business, and connecting the advisors who are just starting to get into that specialty with advisors who've built their business on that specialty, and sharing best practices, how they go to market, how they work with our preferred partners to create those really unique experiences.
Well, it's great, and you're going to get preferred suppliers who want to be part of those communities, part of the circle of, I keep thinking of that old movie, it's The Circle of Trust, right?
Oh, I love Stephen Covey. Circle of Trust, Circle of Concern, Circle of Influence.
That's right. Yeah,
it's all about using the tools and the resources that we have to empower advisors to grow their business. And really it goes back to what they're passionate about, because we heard from Ben Numpton yesterday, who is our keynote speaker.
Oh, yeah.
You really have to make sure that you are serving yourself before you can serve others. And I find the circles is another way for advisors to connect with other like-minded advisors, which we know will help them grow their business and grow everybody's business because they're sharing best practices.
No, that's a great system, and hopefully it's going to really roll out really well in the next year. Now, let's talk a little bit about some of the other ways you connect. You mentioned a whole bunch of things like signature headlines, webinars, virtual learning, signature educational journeys. I got a whole list here, right?
I know. And for our partners, we always encourage them to always provide the information. That's where it starts on Signet. We need to make sure we have the resources and the tools for the advisors to be able to do their job in an efficient way day to day. And then that feeds through to our newsletters and our headline newsletters, which we send a lot of email, but we get a great open rate and a great response rate, so we continue to sell it, just like on the B2C side. If it's working, there's no need to stop doing it. Just make sure that it's relevant content for the users. But we also talked about our webinars, which are so important. And while we have seen a decline then during obviously
Well, I mean, everybody has webinars here. That's the issue. I mean, hopefully yours are getting through to them, right?
Exactly. And when we compare partners, like partners, so whether it's a destination, a hotel, a cruise, the way that you can package it together so it's the full experience. That's where we're seeing the most, obviously, engagement and the most opportunity. But we're finally bringing back the virtual meetings that we did during the pandemic because we didn't have face-to-face time in person. So we had to create it virtually. But I think there's opportunity to, again, going back to the circles to make sure that people have that presence and that opportunity to share ideas and ask questions and just grow their business that way.
And then, of course, you have these signature educational journeys, which everybody's going to like. And these are a little upgrade from FAM trips, right?
Oh, so much more than just a FAM trip. Not that FAM, there's anything wrong with it,
Yeah,
but
not
these
that there's anything wrong with a FAM trip.
really in-depth, immersive opportunities with our destination specialists, and they partner with our preferred hotels and resorts. And we really focus on just 25 a year. So our demand is probably 10 times more than what we can accommodate. But then we take that list and we take those applications and those vetted advisors who are raising their hand and asking for opportunities, and we share that with our tour operators, our wholesale partners, and our cruise partners so that they can do their own really focused signature educationals as well. But it's one of those divide and conquer. We can't do everything from the center, so we just collect the resources, we collect the materials, and then we disseminate that to our partners so that they can take the lead.
That's fantastic, and I know they are looking forward to those. I mean, it's great to experience a product like that. Now, let's drill down to specifically some of the areas that you oversee. How's the hotel program for Signature going? Roughly how many properties do you have in your collection now?
Actually contracted for 2014. 2014, wow, I'm going way back in time.
We lost a few years.
Oh my goodness, I tell you, it's a time warp sometimes. For 2024 right now, we have contracted 1,219. Okay. But we are still in the process of chasing some final contracts, so we'll probably be 1230.
Yeah, so that's the program where you have amenities, you have early check-in, check-out, all these different things. And I think one of the things of your program was that it wasn't necessarily all 5-star. You had a few 4-star in there too, which is because not everybody wants to book that all the time.
Absolutely, we just want to make sure we have the variety in what our members are selling. So it's not always 5-star. There is some 4-star in there as well, and always keeping in mind because we always tie it back to our wholesale partners as well. So if there's a hotel that a member is asking for, but we don't necessarily have the demand, it doesn't make sense to add to the hotel and resort collection, there's always the opportunity to sell their preferred hotel through one of our wholesaler tour operators. So we don't have to have all of the hotels in the hotel and resort collection, but we want to make sure we have the right fit for that full portfolio that our members need and are selling.
That's great. And now let's turn to cruise, and you have a pretty strong cruise program too, right?
We do. Crystal Cruises came back into the fold this year.
They came back into the fold for all of us.
Exactly. So I know just yesterday, Marriott was talking about how the loyalty of the Crystal guest and how wonderful it is to see those travelers return to the ship and that 80% of their crew is back on the ship.
You don't have to tell me. I was on the first cruise going back with Crystal Serenity, and they have brought the product back.
They have. And she shared that story. She said they are the best CRM in the world, the onboard crew. And I think about that often. I mean, whenever you sail, you see those connections that the traveler creates with the people who are on board because they take care of them. And I love that we have that as an extension of our signature partnerships because our members can trust our partners that once they go on board and once they have that experience, that they'll come back, and it creates that ongoing relationship that we all invest so much in developing and sustaining.
Well, that's great. And you got a lot of other new players, like Explorer Journeys is here now. I was lucky enough to be on Silver Sea, Explorer Journey, Explorer One, and Crystal in 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So everybody says, what's better? And the answer is there's no better. It's what fits.
I just had this conversation last night with one of our members, and the variety, and we always want to have that differentiated experience. And the way that the cruise partners are creating that. For a while, I felt like everybody talked about it, but it was hard to really categorize it. And I feel like as we just have more experiences throughout our lives and in our travel opportunities, I feel the cruise lines are really doing a better job of honing in on what the opportunity is and delivering that experience that they know people want. And it doesn't have to be the same for, even we were talking last night about Virgin Voyages. On Virgin, you can find different experiences throughout the ship based on what your preference is, where you want to find your little niche. So I think as our cruise partners continue to do that, it will give advisors more confidence to sell an experience knowing that their customers will find what they need and what they want.
And we're not even going to get into the different forms of cruising, like expedition cruising and river and all that. There's so much product on the market, but it sounds like your program is really encompassing all that. And that's where you have sort of hosted cruising and a lot of the things like that, right?
Absolutely. And a lot of the hosted experience is obviously great for the traveler because they have that trusted advisor with them. And when I say trusted, it's also the trust within Signature, that there's no concern that an advisor is going to connect their customer with another Signature member, another Signature advisor, because that Signature host is there to serve. Right. But it's also such a great opportunity for the advisor to experience the product and to see how the guests are experiencing the product, which they bring back to Signature and they share with us. So then we can share best practices and help do that proper positioning of what the actual onboard experience is.
It's fantastic. Now, finally, let's take a look at the other products in your tours, DMCs. Tourist boards, we have them all here. What do you do?
Most. So we have 84 tourism board partners, and 75 are here with us this week, which is fantastic.
That's fantastic. And so, but you have programs for all of these, right?
We do. So, and a lot of the tourism board partnership, it is focused on the B2B. So it's the webinar opportunities, it's the opportunities to get advisors in destination. It's making sure that we're sharing all of the recent news and updates from the destination. But then again, connecting the tourism board with our preferred partners so that when we excite people about selling a destination, that they have their go-to preferred partners to sell.
Fantastic. Now, final question. Anything else you want to tell? We go out to about 127,000 travel advisors, many of whom are your Signature members or maybe prospective members. What do you want to tell them about A, your marketing today, and B, your preferred partnership program?
Oh, my goodness. In terms of the marketing and preferred partnerships, too, what I love is that we have variety so everybody can find the tool that they need. We never have an expectation that all members are going to use all tools because that would be a waste of everybody's time. But we have the tools and the resources in place and the training so that people can really explore and then find what is most important for them to grow their business. And then we have the support team to make sure that they have the access they need and the inspiration and the way to connect with others, because as we know for travel, it's all about those connections.
Absolutely. And I know Alex is talking about that. Alex Sharp, your CEO, was talking about that on stage a lot.
It's so important. We're people, right? We're all talking about AI, but we absolutely need AI to support what we know we need to do to help us focus, to leverage the tools and the access to information and data that we all have. But then we need to talk to each other to make sure that we're focused on what truly matters for us personally and what we know will connect with others.
Well, Corinne, it's been a great conference. I learned a lot more about what's going on with Signature. I try to come every year, always learn stuff. And of course, tonight we're all going off to this, the Sphere, which everybody's really excited about. You two won't be there, but I think we'll see some fun things. And everybody got really excited about this. It really got a buzz about this all around. Actually, other groups are talking about it.
No, but it goes back. I mean, it's a new experience, and it's going to be a shared experience. And I've seen the Sphere promo promo video probably 5 times, and I get goosebumps every single time. So the fact that we get to sit in that space with 2,600 people and have just that magical shared experience, I'm very, very excited.
Well, I'm excited about it too. I'm really looking forward to it, and it's great to see you as always. And I'll see you somewhere on the high
on a cruise sometime.
Probably on a cruise. That's the thing. That's
Absolutely.
where you always end up seeing each other on cruises. Again, I'm James Shillinglaw, and
Karin Christopher.
and we're going to the Sphere.
Yes.
And this is Insider Travel Report.